All right, I think that's enough of a introductory period, getting people walking in. Hopefully, everybody at home is able to admire just our Lord and Savior doing his stroll right now. Yeah, just so fascinating to look at. Anyway, welcome everybody to SlapCast number 2. This has been a long time coming. Initially, what we were going to do was, oh hey, we'll do SlapCast on a weekly fashion. That didn't work out. Then we said, oh hey, we'll do SlapCast on a bi-weekly fashion. That didn't work out. Over a month later, it's not the best scheduling, but hey, we're back. And we're hopefully here to stay. What you're going to be seeing right now in the background is a bit of mixed gameplay footage between myself and Psycho Midget doing friendlies, and some matches from the most recent Slap Saturday. But in this venture, I am not alone, because I am joined by, if you will, introduce yourselves.
Rapidio, notice me while I'm muted.
I just unmuted you.
Damn it!
I just unmuted you.
You're an idiot. You're so dumb. I knew that was gonna happen.
He was doing so well. I didn't want to interrupt him.
I'm dead.
It's the last guest we ever had.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest is now muted again.
Cool.
He's gonna be muted for the rest of the stream.
No, not like this.
All right.
I clipped it, don't worry.
Okay. For real though, I am joined with Rambo, one of our regular co-hosts.
Hello.
Holiday, who was fantastic and is able to sub in for Cap.
Hi. I'm here because they couldn't get the other guy.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. It's alright.
It's a sub. And you're doing a fantastic job.
Thanks.
Speaking of doing a fantastic job, let's talk about our guest, Cree. What up, Cree?
I haven't done anything in a month, Rapidio. What are you talking about?
And that's the only time you haven't been doing anything. You've been
I'm at peak performance when I'm not performing.
Yeah, but everything before then, you've been working your tail off.
Yeah, fair.
And that's actually...
Because he's a Jenny man?
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Already. This is why you're replacing Cap. You're already getting into the puns.
Yeah.
Rep.
Sound balance
There's a bit
is
of a
bad.
sound balance problem.
Is
Hey,
there?
muted.
Cree.
Oh, I'm muted. Yes. Yes.
No, he ruined it all.
I'm so done here. What have I wanted to, man?
Sound balance is
Was I
off?
actually muted? I'm having like an existential crisis. I can never tell when people can hear me or not.
Alright, hold up.
Alright, so basically, Rep, just raise everyone else's volume but your own.
Easy.
People, you don't understand.
They can hear you.
Kree's happy about being muted because he is, well...
It's where I
The
belong.
things he has to say. The things he has to say are... Well...
I don't know whose idea it was to actually give me a voice tonight, but thank you for having me.
You, sir, are very welcome.
Alright,
Rapidio,
yeah.
what are we doing?
Well, right now I'm making sure that the sound mixing is good. Here's the thing. OBS and OBS Streamlabs have two completely different sound level filters. I don't get it. Like, on one, you guys would have been way too loud. This time, you're way too quiet. Crazy, man.
It's weird. But, you know what? We could fix it.
I'll try and pay attention to the little audio bars you got going on there.
Alright.
We seem to be fine right now.
Yeah, we are absolutely fine. And right now, Cree, what we're doing
okay.
is... I want to go a little bit into your history with this scene. You're our guest
Okay.
today because of just everything you've done, everything you've contributed to this community. You are taking a step back now, that is true, but it's like the first time in literal months that you've done this. For nearly half a year, you have been like
Has it been that long?
it's you'd be surprised. It certainly feels like it.
It's been a minute.
Like, yeah, when did you start? Don't you know what? We'll start there. When did you start running some events?
Gotta be like mid to late May ish. Like there wasn't much time in between me getting into the game and me doing events because I wanted to play, but there was no like chances to play. And just trying to search out lobbies online just through the matchmaking system was kind of like not what I was looking for because I came from a melee scene at my college where I'm used to like weeklies and going out, having a bracket experience. It's nice. It's got a nice feel to it. And I wanted to try and bring that into this new little game that happened to have really good online. So gave it a shot, and I guess it worked.
You guess it worked.
I guess, yeah. I'd say it was a success.
I'd say you hit niche appeal. Shoutouts to all 3 people who attend SCO events. You're the people who keep this trucking.
We got a solid 7. Those were the days.
Those were the days. Yeah. For
Is that how you put
context.
it?
Yeah. But honestly, for context, for those of you who weren't around then, that was the size of the weeklies. For a while, it was tiny. But
we did round robins and stuff.
Yeah, we were able to do like full on round robin.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice. It was very nice.
It's I think most of them were documented even back then on the I think they're on bracket right now.
They're not on bracket. There's certainly you could certainly dig them up on challenge. Everything was done on challenge back in the day, which you, Mister, clung to for your life.
It was a familiar, to say the least. It's what I used for the longest time when I was TOing melee events, and I just kind of wanted to continue that because I knew it worked. And when I looked at other systems like Smash.gg or even the bracket one that's built in, it just didn't meet what I knew how to do, and less so like I didn't like them, and more so I don't want to have to invest in this right now because I'm already doing so much. But
right.
I was eventually convinced, especially once we started working with Smash.gg a bit more, and I started getting more familiar with the system.
Yeah, and working with Smash.gg has been pretty helpful, especially because we have a community that helps to make that process happen. If it was just you, if it was just one person, period, it'd be tricky. But you know what? I want to focus on that as well. When you started this, did you expect to have all these assistant TOs and all these assistant leaders helping you out?
That is a great question. Back in the day, it was mostly just me and Cells who were putting on these weeklies. Cells was like the primary TO when I hopped on. He was the only one hosting events. But he's a busy boy. He could only do them so often and to a certain capacity. And I was on summer break, didn't really have much to do. I was actually on a gap semester. I took a gap semester off of college, and that's kind of when I got into Slap. So like, I don't know. I was looking for something to get invested in, and Slap was just the first one to get my attention, and I ran with it.
Fair enough. But what was it about Slap that caught your attention, if you had to point to either one particular thing or a multitude of different things? Like, what caught your eye?
Because Melee net play sucks, to say the least. Like, here's the thing. Me and my friends were kind of on like a Melee kick, right? But we would play physically when we could. During the summer and my gap semester and stuff, me and the handful of friends that were in Melee were decent ways away. We were all northeast, but like, you know, not even in the same state. And net play is best done when you're relatively close to people. Like I've been playing net play with people literally in my town, and it's pretty seamless. But when you're trying to play a program like net play, melee, miles and miles away, the latency becomes a lot more obvious. And we were trying out different fighters. Rivals of Aether was one of the fighters that we tried playing. Gosh, I think Icons wasn't out, but I was looking at it. But then Slap City, believe it or not, I was watching an Alpharad video. I got into Alpharad through Rivals of Aether, and then that translated over to Slap City when he posted that. And it looked silly as hell. Like, it looked fun. I originally picked it up and, like, asked my friend, hey, you want to try this game out? Because, like, it just looked something fun to have on the side of taking Melee competitively. And turned out there was a Discord. It was, like, posted right on the front page when you opened up Slap City, joined it. The community was actually really great, and I didn't have many friends in my hometown because most of my friends are at college. So like it was a nice social environment for me to spend my time in as well, which really helped me actually stick to this game. I probably, if it wasn't for the people in the game, I've said this millions of times during my career doing stuff for Slap City. If it wasn't for the community, I wouldn't have done it at all.
Yeah, the community in the slap scene is nothing short of fantastic. I have virtually nothing but good things to say about every single person. Just everybody watching right now, shout outs to you. You guys keep you guys are what kept Cree trucking, you're keeping me trucking. Rambo, I'm sure, loves you all deeply.
I'm just here for the food. I'm kidding. I love all of you. Y'all mean a lot to me.
Even you, Rep.
I did. If I may interject for just a moment.
Oh, go right ahead.
About where I'm from, because I am 100% the newest one here. I came from running, like, just playing with friends and whatnot. They got me into this game, and I ended up running Shine 2018 Slap City bracket. That was the biggest mess. Everything was terrible, but it was a lot of fun, and that's how I got involved with helping stuff out. But like, the point is, like, that even when that bracket didn't go over smoothly, like, everyone was just having a lot of fun and just chilling and like thanking me for doing it, even if it didn't go over smoothly. So, shouts to you all. That's why I love you all and the motivation I have for helping people out in this community if I can. Because
you were sick as hell that night, if I recall too.
102 fever.
Yeah, that's
I
always
went home,
fun.
I went back to the hotel room, got blasted with my Melee friends, and went to bed.
Yeesh.
That's a Melee scene in a nutshell right there.
Yeah, that was Shine 2018, dude.
Yeah.
That sounds wild.
But yeah, being a
One way to
TO is hard, and like, as much as I do miss it sometimes, like, I also got college going on right now, and there was just like, it felt like my time to step back. It felt like the little chicks were ready to leave the nest, and the mama had to go to college to pay for the chicks.
Is that where birds
That's
go?
how birds work, right?
Is that where birds go? I don't know what your mom told you about your pet bird.
I don't have any pet birds.
Oh.
Pet birds don't
Do you have
have
a mom?
nests, nor do they. Do I have a mom?
Have you had a mom in the past?
What? How do we get
Yes,
here?
no.
I have had a mom, and I do have a mom.
Alright, that's
We
good to hear.
shared the same birthday.
What?
Not
Oh,
not the
that's
birth
cool.
year.
That's
but,
actually
like,
kind of crazy.
the day. Yeah. I was my mom's birthday present.
Oh.
Are you guys happy to hear this Cree lore?
It does
I
say
don't know how we
history of
got
Cree.
here, but it's okay.
Like,
Little
I was gonna rein that in, but I just wanted to see where that went, and I'm not disappointed.
We ended up talking about my mom's birthday.
Absolutely. Technically information. It's technically information.
Don't go resetting my security questions, please.
Oh, dang. Yeah,
All
I
right.
undermined that pretty bad, didn't I? My bad.
But honestly, I want to dig a little deeper into just that transition period, Cree. Like, how did it feel handing over like this, if not power, then perceived power you had in the community to, I suppose, more of a group of people. Because I couldn't point to any one person right now that's in charge of SCO.
Yeah. Not I couldn't either, but I mean this analogy in the best possible way. Well, to an extent.
Oh boy.
But no, like imagine you have a child. You conceive this baby, right? And the baby's growing up and stuff, and it has like its first steps and all that. But taking care of the baby gets harder and harder as it grows up. So then you get some babysitters, and you try and find the right babysitters. You start giving babysitters that do things really well, or taking a lot of initiative with your baby, a little bit more control, or some more of the reins. But then you get to a point where you have to sit back and watch the babysitters call the shots, and you have to sit there and listen to the babysitters. That's how it feels right now, and I mean that in a good way. Like, when I lash back, it's not necessarily because I don't like what SEO is doing. It's because it's not me doing it, so it's not exactly the way I would do it. And just because I'm the parent doesn't mean my decisions are best for the baby. So, like, I'm stepping back a little bit because I can't take care of the baby right now, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense, and it's that was very impressive, Cree. How you managed to call us babysitters and still make us feel dignified.
No, you're glorified babysitters. Okay, that's probably a bad way to put it.
So who's the child?
You're babysitters
Oh,
with
SEO?
glory.
SCO.
Okay, I thought
Oh
I was
my,
the baby, and
Cree,
I was also
that's
a
10
child,
times
like, I was,
worse.
Yeah,
Is
because
it?
I thought I was we were the children becoming babysitters.
You're not wrong. Imagine, so I had the baby, and then the baby gave birth to the babysitter.
How'd you
my-
have a baby?
Oh no, we're just not gonna go there.
Cree.
You're
like the ant.
nice, and it really went down the toilet.
I'm
Let's not
sorry,
do
that's
that.
just me in general. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Cree, you're
My bad,
like
dude.
you're the anti-anime. You take a metaphor and you make it worse.
Yeah. I can't
Well,
call
no,
out my own metaphors.
He
that
made
wouldn't make
that
sense.
metaphor himself.
Ooh.
Did that answer your question, video?
I feel like I had several questions answered, none of which I wanted answered, but
Okay.
answered all the same.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like
Did
we
it
opened
raise any
Pandora's
questions?
box for a minute there.
All right. So let's move on from that and instead just move on from that completely. Everybody in chat forget that happened.
I don't think they can forget. They can't unhear what just happened.
Never forget.
All right. So, yeah, for better or for worse, we just got an unforgettable moment. But I want to draw attention to a different unforgettable moment that happened not too long ago. So,
I'm worried.
there's a certain player right there who was on a bit of a hot streak for a while.
Is it me?
For about a month. For a little over a month, this player was, in many definitions of the word, undefeated, unsurpassed, unrivaled. This precedent, this man's journey, suddenly came to a screeching halt.
Is it you?
This Saturday. Absolutely. It is 100% me. I was on such a hot streak, and it's just been ruined because of a babysitting story.
That's what I do. I kill things. That's what I do.
Of course, I'm talking about Fumbles and his recent 5th place placing at our most recent tournament.
Yeah.
That
Are
was
people not allowed to lose anymore?
Capitalism prevailing once again.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think Captain was actually one of the people to beat Fumbles.
Oh.
He was not.
But
Oh,
he
well,
did
there
end
goes
up
my
taking the
joke.
tournament.
He did take the tournament by all means, but I'm pretty sure the big one that I saw was Babunga. Babunga was the one who sent Fumbles to losers, which was
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, making
And
a
then-
statement to so many fish mains who say that matchup is absolutely unwinnable against Rim.
Mhm.
Like that,
And
that
apparently,
definitely stood out to me as well.
and actually in Game 5, Babunga 3 stopped fumbles, so that was even more icing on the cake.
I need to see VODs. I don't think it was streamed through SCO, so that might be complicated, but I need
It
to
was
see what the
not.
heck happened there.
Yeah, there were several people in that tournament streaming at the time, so getting
Yeah.
secondhand VODs will be pretty easy.
There was Babunga streaming fumbles, Cairo, I believe that's it, unless I'm missing somebody.
There might have been some like lower bracket streams as well. I know like
Yeah.
some of the players, regardless of how far they get, will stream their runs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that outside of 2 matches in top 8, though,
Mhm.
all the other ones were streamed.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so anybody who wants to see a lot of that archived footage, just history in the making, by all means, check out all the different fantastic players who ended up streaming it. I believe we had Cairo, we had Fumbles, Babunga. Was there one other? I think there was one other.
I just said that, Rep.
No, but did you say the other one if there was? Because
I don't think there was anyone else. Not that I remember.
at least not in top 8. I think that was all there was in top 8.
Wait, Holly, were you streaming that? Were you streaming your
No,
tournament run?
I was streaming my tournament run, yes, but A, don't watch it. B, I wasn't streaming other people's games. I actually didn't do that
Okay.
bad last night. Don't worry about it.
I don't think anyone was streaming anyone else's games. They were just their own.
Yeah,
It's
I was going to, but things came up. You know how it is.
Okay.
Shout out to my Twitch.
This is Slap City Online. SlapCast is a place for plugging, evidently.
I was kidding.
You were
just
the
said
one who
don't-
asked. If
I
you were
said
streaming.
don't watch it. I said don't watch my VOD. I specifically told people to stay away from my Twitch.
So it's an unplug. Got it.
Yeah, I want nobody near it.
As a communications major, I can say good job.
Thanks.
That is the best way to plug yourself. Tell them
Yeah,
not
of
to do
course. Yeah,
something,
don't
and then they're
go
gonna
check
do
out.
it.
Yeah, do not. First of
I-
all, I'll just perform worse. Second of all, you're not gonna get anything out of it other than some idiot just like talking about things like he knows what he's talking about.
All of you go watch it right now.
Yeah,
Don't
I
watch
remember
the
when I
video.
was on the brink of 100 followers on Twitch. I literally said like, "Oh wow, will you look at that?" Or no, do you know what it was?
Let's hear
I
it.
had 69 followers.
Oh boy.
And I said, "We're at 69. Nobody else follow me." Got like 8 follows. So like, if you tell people not to do something, they're often inclined to do it just to defy
Yeah,
the system.
but the difference is
Okay,
you
well-
matter.
Okay, Rev.
So
I
it's like
appreciate the
don't
compliment.
check out.
Oops, sorry. Rev, I appreciate the compliment, but my setup is actually ass, so I couldn't stream even if I wanted to.
Yeah, a lot of
Like-
people in this community, unfortunately, don't have the means of streaming on them, which is why it was such a nice twist of fate that even though we didn't have an SEO stream, we did happen to have so many players that were capable of streaming their matches.
Yeah.
And I
It's
imagine,
also worth.
It's something I've been trying to advocate more of, especially because there's like not a lot of, especially with how the replay system is right now. It's kind of uncertain whether or not a saved VOD is actually going, or not a VOD, I apologize, a saved replay is actually going to be corrupted or not. You can't really get that kind of consistency with anything other than a recording. Which is why I advocate that you record it if the means are available. And not only that, it's also one of those things where there's so many like really helpful people in the Slap community that are more than willing to like give you advice and whatnot, and it helps so much if you have like footage to look over and people can tell you or show you things that you don't even realize you do, and that's like one of the best ways you can improve in general is through that footage. Helps the community, it helps you. So if you could do it, go for it.
absolutely 100% agree on that one. And on the note of footage, we've also seeing a bit of a difference in regards to how we are streaming some of these tournament matches now. Instead of putting a precedent on focusing on streaming for top 8, it's since shifted to top 4. That isn't to say that top 8 isn't streamed. The lower half of top 8 isn't streamed, but it no longer has the same sort of weight to it that it once did. And while it's a potentially controversial decision, it has made tournaments go by, I feel, quite a bit quicker.
Actually, I think the past 2 tournaments have ended before midnight.
Yeah,
which is
both of them ended before midnight. I think one of them ended before 11.
It's a very important thing for us to have tournaments run on time and end in a timely fashion.
yeah, because honestly, like this week was the first week I've seen tournaments end that early since they first started, which was back in like mid to late June. So that's saying something.
Yeah, but in order to potentially counteract that, I suppose, the qualms that some people have with the lack of streams, I believe that we are going to very soon be seeing Slap City Online 2.
What?
Huh?
Yeah, that's something that's been brewing up. They're eventually going to maybe see a dedicated secondary stream for some of these tournaments.
Oh, okay, as in a Twitch. Gotcha.
Yes. Yes, we're making a new Discord
I thought that was
group.
about as clear as it could have been.
I for some reason immediately jumped to like having like a sequel to Slap City 2. Or no, wait, hold on.
No,
Not
So
Slap
basically,
City,
once
something
this-
online.
The triple sequel.
So once Slap City 2 comes out, we're having a Slap City Online 2, right?
No,
Hey,
no, that's not what I meant.
we're gonna get ahead of the game on that one.
That's a read, if I've ever seen one.
Hard read.
It's a very bold move by Ludosity to announce their next game through a Twitch name.
Before they even finish their first
It's actually really funny. If I can veer off topic, just as a little fun story
Mhm.
About weird advertising. There was a time in if anybody's vaguely familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh, there was a time where they released a new support that they didn't tell you what it did. You had to go see the movie. But under the seat of a Ferris wheel was a giant description for the card effect, randomly in Japan. No reason. Just that's how they did it. That's the level of weird we're talking.
Japan level.
Yeah.
Is that a tier of weird?
Yes.
Kree,
I'm not gonna question.
Have
you were
watched
supposed to
anime
do
ever?
you were supposed to do the required reading and watching before you came in here. You should know this.
Banned.
I don't want to be educated in cultural
I thought you
insensitivity.
were about to say I don't want to be a weeb.
That too. That too.
That's
But for
basic.
sure,
That's
exactly
basically
you
what
were
he
gonna
said.
say.
Yo, what is this?
I've seen maybe like a few animes. It was mostly because like I watched them with my my girlfriend at the time. Like they're
Excuse me,
good. Like I
excuse me.
liked Death Note. Death Note was good.
Kree,
Um,
did you just call the plural of anime animes?
is that incorrect?
Yes.
Yes.
Are they animu?
Oh my god!
So
It's just anime, Creed. Please.
so
So
let's think about
The
this
singular
for a
and the
second, Creed.
plural are anime.
so it's like moose.
Yeah, let's go with
Yeah,
that.
moosin.
Let's just-
Animen?
Oh my! It's
Meese want the food. Food is the eating, is it?
what is going on?
Shoutouts to Brian Regan.
I'm glad that you
Oh.
know. I'm glad you know. It's good. That's a good routine. That's a classic.
Meese.
Yeah, Meese. Exactly. Rev gets it.
I don't know why this popped into my head, but I just want to address it right now.
Oh boy.
And it's kind of it's one of those like heated things for me. Like it bothers me, and I always want to correct people.
Oh,
All
I
right.
need to get some ice for this
Hey,
hot take
floor's
that's about to come
the
up.
floor's all yours, buddy.
Okay, so Canada Goose, right? It's
Ye-
Canada Geese for the plural as well. The amount
Yes.
of people that I hear say Canadian geese is too many. It is Canada Geese, Get it right. They are not from Canada. They are named after somebody named Canada.
Okay, but what if they were from Canada?
What?
Well, they just happen to be northern geese, but they're not named after the country Canada.
No, but
What?
if a goose came from Canada, it would, and multiple geese came from Canada, they'd be Canadian geese, right?
What is this? Why?
You can have
is-
Canadian
it's-
Canada geese.
It's because it's Latin.
Okay, but they don't need
It's
to be.
It's Latin.
They
Yeah,
don't
it's
need to
Latin.
be Canada geese. I'm talking about
What?
regular geese.
I'm gonna look up Canada Latin.
Okay. How do we end up
Canada
on this
Latin?
tangent?
No, Canada. What is wrong with you?
Canada Latin American relations.
Okay,
I have so many questions.
shoutouts to
What?
Kree being the first person in history to look up Canada Latin.
Ooh.
Yeah, can you look up while you're at it? Look up Canadian Latin for me. See what you find.
Canadian Latin.
No, I was.
No,
being-
there's no Canadian Latin.
Same
There's
results.
only Canada Latin.
Yes, Canadian.
No,
Latin.
it's like
That
Pig
doesn't make
Latin,
any
except
sense.
instead of putting the vowel beforehand, you just put A in between every
Oh
single
my God.
word.
So that
A
is
stream-
Canadian.
And you say
Stream
sorry
Put
of
A
in your
after
sentences.
everything.
Guys, do you think we could just, move on from this topic, please?
Sure.
I'm pretty sure it'd be better for
You knew what
everybody.
you signed up for when you put me on here.
Not really.
I'm so
I would know. No,
No.
we didn't.
Anyway, so past in terms of like general tournament discussion, if you like, we can bring up the bracket probably. If you could do that real quick. Fourth through first. That's something else we should talk about. Considering when you think of fumbles, right, running through winners, you have to think about how many people he's knocking out of winners, right?
right.
So with that out of the way, people have like even if it's only fifth, it still gives people better like more of a shot at running through and beating people in losers that they otherwise might not since they get knocked out earlier. So how do you what was 4 through 1 in terms of placements?
Are we talking about for
Slap Saturday.
Slap
Most recent
Saturday?
one.
Got it.
So,
In fact, yeah, let's pull it up right now.
Because
I'm pulling it up.
fumbles at fifth, that means it was always a question of when he's going to get second. It was not a question of when he's going to get fifth.
Yeah, I honestly thought fumbles would be knocked out at second in grand finals
That's
for
what all of
someone
us
to take
thought.
the win. But like
He had he had a
like, the
very
earlies-
unfortunate run-in with a D-Lab who got knocked into losers far too early.
He was a weird
shout out
bracket.
shout out to Rev, by the way, for sending the lap to losers. That was like
That
one of
was
the biggest upsets of the
insane.
tournament.
Hmm.
No one saw it coming at all.
You know what? We're talking about fumbles a bit. Let's talk about Rev. Rev's run was crazy this tournament.
Revelo's been turning up for a while, hasn't he? Like he beat
Yeah.
Magua a couple tournaments ago.
Honestly, like he's probably like the Rem fish slayer. Like, cause he's been going up against a lot of fishes lately, and he's been taking some names. Like he actually sent Babunga into losers once, and he's frequently running with Booker, who's an up and coming fish main, and he's taken him out a few times. He actually took him out this past tournament. So yeah, shout out to Rev. I actually ran into him right after in top 8. So that was nice.
If you want to beat Rev, just go Jenny.
I mean, he also
Just
has middle
saying.
problem.
I feel like that's the strategy for half of the player base.
Really? I thought people whined about Jenny not being good anymore.
Yeah, but I
That's
very
also do-
very frequently see people going like, "Oh no, I was doing well," and then they pick Jenny. That's just
Rev, when did you 2-0 me?
Well, it's kind of a situation where people get upset over things that they don't like counterplaying. A lot of people can like very easily identify, like especially something like axes, right? There's counterplay. It's there. There's a reason she's not top, like at the top in my opinion.
At least not
But
anymore.
the way you do it isn't always the most enjoyable thing, and you kind of don't want to accept that that's the way you got to do it.
Can I just go off on a brief tangent real quick?
sure.
So I think that a lot of people misconstrue someone being OP for being extremely annoying and unfun to fight. Like there is a huge difference. Like there's counterplay to a lot of like the lane tactics that are seen as OP, but in order to counteract them, you have to play in a way that a lot of people don't find fun. And so that tends to end up becoming like a huge topic of discussion for what should get nerfed or or who should be buffed and et cetera, et cetera. And I just think that might be the wrong way to go about it.
If
I
you're in the
guess.
chat, raise your hand if you're a game designer or developer.
If you're in chat, press 1 if you want to inform Cree that nobody can see you raising your hand.
Post a hand emoji in the chat if you are a game developer or designer.
You're actually doing the clap meme.
I am.
You're actually doing
I'm
the
a
clap
living
meme.
meme, Rapidio.
Sure, let's go with that.
I'm in a lot of pain right now.
We all are, Holly. We all are. All right, but anyway.
But he
so
brings up a good point. Like, I think that the amount of people that act like they know what's best for the game is not the best mentality to have, especially if you're trying to be taken seriously. If you come off as like, I know what you're doing, you guys don't, you made this game bad, why would they listen to you? You want to be productive. You want to talk to them in a way like that addresses them as, hey, you actually made this game. You did this thing that I probably can't and never will be able to do. Here's some feedback. That's a bit better mindset to have, like, because they're probably going to make the game they want it to be. It's their game, and as game developers, they're allowed, in fact, they're entitled to make their game to the vision that they want. They're welcome to take feedback from the community, by all means. We're the people who play the game. But in the grand scheme of things, they get the final say, and I think that should be respected.
Yeah. Also, just to add on to what you say, and just I guess one thing that you could do is acknowledge the fact that you'll probably have some form of bias, and it might be bias like against a certain character. It might be bias like for your own character, and just in general, like people are probably hardwired with biases. So definitely take that into account when you're saying the things that you say in these meta discussion channels and on the Ludo cord or in SEO, and just acknowledge that maybe you could be having tunnel vision and that someone may have a different perspective from you, and they might offer an insight about your character that you may not know about.
Bias
Or
in terms of discussion about balance is also like it's very, not only is it like, not only can it harm a game, but it's also very important. You can't have a discussion without some form of bias. It isn't a thing. So the importance comes from people who, at the end of the day, this is a game. It should be fun. In some way, shape, or form, no matter how you have fun with it, what you do in that game should be fun for you. You know what I mean? So when you're taking advice from, say, let's just, like, for example, like a fish player who's like unhappy with how fish is right now. Just using that as an example. So when you talk to them, obviously they're going to complain about some changes, maybe the way they want something to be, the way something isn't. They might be upset about that. Of course, they're a bit biased. That's natural. But it's also important that you have to see it from the perspective of the people playing the character that are upset. It's important to recognize both sides and find some form of middle ground. It's not, sometimes it's completely unwarranted, and that's just how people are. But just because someone has some degree of bias does not mean their opinion is invalid. You always have to remember that. It's not about getting rid of your bias. It's about being objective with your bias.
oh yeah, definitely. And I just also it really should never get to the point where like there's toxicity at like people who play a certain character. Like that should never happen.
Yes,
Ever.
yeah. Though
That's one of the most negative mindsets you can have.
it is a negative mindset, but thankfully it's something that we do not see that often right now in this community. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm a little inclined to disagree.
Yeah.
okay,
To be quite honest with you.
how about comparatively?
Comparatively, it's, I guess, if you want to go by how many individual instances versus percentage-wise of like people that have actually complained, our community is kind of, it's smaller than most, you know? So I'd hesitate to say that it's there. It's visible. Is the
I'll
thing.
never deny that it's there. Unfortunately, there will always be that vocal minority that can try to take that fun away through just their words. Like, not even their gameplay, just their words.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I see if there is any sort of vitriol, it's generally leveled towards the characters more so than the players.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's present. It's visible and present on both ends. And is that part of humanity? Yeah, but it's all about coming together as a community, and then based on even like with our flaws, we're still a group. Like everyone's
Right.
part of this community. We all have to kind of, I don't want to say get along. Preferably, it would be get along well. But even if you don't like how someone plays, there are plenty of people I don't like how they play a character. It doesn't warrant disrespect. Not verbal disrespect. I don't care if you go in game and taunt. That's something else. But
It's
it doesn't
awkward
warrant.
looking,
It does
yeah.
not warrant verbal disrespect because of your disagreement or frustration with how someone plays.
Right.
It's okay to be frustrated. It's not okay to be, to take it out on someone.
Right. In fact, I'm going to encourage the contrary. If you're in game, be sure to taunt at every given opportunity. Assert your
No.
dominance to the other player. Make sure that they know who's boss. Rambo,
Can we
DCM and
just
make
buff
mad
Idle's
money?
taunt, please?
Yes,
'Cause
buff Idle's taunt. Idle's taunt is low tier right now.
Yeah, it's bottom tier actually.
It's
It's
just
her-
flipping a stick of dynamite.
It's her
Like,
one
why?
tool that's underpowered right now.
That's
I mean,
a
there's
good
also
segue
Bear
to
that
something
doesn't,
else
like-
actually.
Actually, though.
It's a pretty good segue. I like that.
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
Well, if you look at the sheet,
No. Was the segue? Were you trying to segue into our next topic?
if you
while
look at
saying
the
that.
sheet,
What sheet?
Listen.
This isn't scripted.
So,
What are you
yes,
talking
yes.
about?
Yes. All right. So
Yes,
on that
okay,
note,
yes,
Scripted,
it-
like 5
yes,
years
it
On that
is.
note-
It is intentional. I take improv. I know what I'm doing.
on that note, let's talk about the slap meta right now because it's been shaken up pretty recently with all these more recent patches that have been cropping up.
Oof.
And so a lot of people have been trying to craft out tier lists for the various characters in the game, and no one seems to have come to a mutual consensus about like who should be placed where. And in my personal opinion, I don't think tier lists are exactly the best way to go. In order to describe like how good characters are in the game, I definitely think that matchup spreads are better. And just the fact that every tier list should be taken with a grain of salt because they're, again, as I said earlier, people have their biases, and so some people might underrate their character or overrate certain other characters. And just in general, the game is always subject to patches until the release. Well, it's not always. It can be subject to patches until 1.0. So definitely keep that in mind whenever you see a tier list or think about making a tier list.
Not only that, if not even patch dependent, I feel like even without patches, metas change so much as people explore the game and come up with new strategies and different ways to approach the game. Emergent gameplay and metagaming is extremely crucial to platform fighters in particular because there's so much room for player input and flexibility in playstyle that it's not so clear cut how good certain characters are. Because
Yeah.
the second a player does something new and they find out a new little trick that they can add to their book, a character becomes increasingly better. You just can't factor those things in when you're making tier lists.
If you want a good example of something like that, where for SSBM, a game that has technically, I mean, we're talking about NTSC, not PAL. If you want an example of people, messing, like seeing where tier lists go, Zelda was ranked 6th for a time. Not Sheik, Zelda.
Yeah, the history of the Melee tier list is pretty...
Jigglypuff was 17th.
It's pretty
Captain
intense.
Falcon was 15th.
Yoshi was one of the worst.
Yoshi was 19th to begin with.
And
You just know
Alpha
this off
came
the
out
top of your
nowhere.
head?
Yeah, Amsa is the reason that Yoshi rose on the tier list at all. He was
Yeah.
rock solid lower mid tier. for
We've
Luigi
got-
was about
like a
Luigi
decade.
was above Peach at one point. Mario was 5th in the game at one point.
Regardless,
about
what we're trying to say,
It's about experimentation over time.
what
Our game is young.
what we're trying to say is, don't rely on updates to make your character better. Rely on yourself. Try to improve yourself and how you play the game instead of trying to improve the game that isn't even yours.
I'd like to mention two things. One, quick shout
Quick, what?
Quick shout out to Rambo's
those-
mic
those
cutting out.
at my internet's being weird. So shout outs to Captain for his $10 an hour lessons, because he actually helped me improve a lot of the game just by pointing out certain flaws that I had in my playstyle and different ways that I could improve through just like 2 hours of coaching. And second, on the topic of experimentation of different characters, I like to take a moment to focus on Ruby, because he's definitely undergone some of the most changes over the past couple of months through patches.
Ooh, Ruby.
Yep.
And
Ruby.
If you've been
And-
around since the beginning, there's a roller coaster of a meta with, for sure.
And I also like to mention this just because a Ruby main, Lucretio, actually won the EU tournament today over Babel after a bracket reset. So Ruby has, for the longest of times, very early on, was considered broken. He was basically, I'm gonna just deal 50 plus damage on you while you can't do anything, carry you off the top, and basically get chain throws and get throws into kill confirm.
Yeah, he was the only character with like a true chain throw for a while. Like, you cannot get out of this until 60 chain throw.
Chain throw and chain aerials. You would literally see so many 0 to deaths in the early VODs. Like, go back to like May and June VODs, find some rubies like Juzo and Chewy, watch the VODs. It's kind of crazy.
And the one thing that fascinates me is that he's always been historically underrepresented. Like,
Yeah.
just in public's online servers and just in bracket. Like, I honestly very rarely run into any rubies ever. Like, I think me fighting Pater last night in bracket was the first time I had run into a ruby in bracket in ages.
Rambo, you entered yesterday?
Yes, I did. I came in 5th.
You're insane.
Well, you're as good as Fumbles.
He was bodying me last night on friendlies afterwards, so
I saw that.
I'd be
That was-
inclined
that
to
wasn't
disagree.
great.
I'd be inclined to disagree. But anyway, but yeah, like just Ruby, and many people complained about this until the devs decided to rework Ruby through a boatload of mechanical changes to the point where Ruby wasn't even the same character. And honestly, over time, he's been slowly getting buffed, and people have started to pick him up again, and they're starting to realize that he's very much so freeform. Like, you can do a lot more with him now than you could back in June, and people are starting to do a lot better with him. And shout out to the people who've been sticking through Ruby through thick and thin. Like, I know there's Pater, there's Dendy, there's Lucretio, there's Wonder Boy. Like, those guys, I have to give mad respect to them. I also just respect those that like just stick through a character despite all the patches that happen. Like don't be content to just like swap a character just because like after a patch they're suddenly now the best character.
And there he goes.
How you get better?
Nothing.
At least his thought got out. It's fine. You cut out a bit
Yeah.
at the end, but we got
I
the
did?
point
Oh,
about no, but
Why?
your point
My
got
mind's
across
weird.
of like shoutouts to the people who have that character loyalty, just through thick and thin.
That being said, I think
Yeah.
Slap City, especially while it's still in beta and there are these changes to characters and they're not all set in stone, like, feel free to go a little bit broad. You don't need to just have one character. Explore the game, explore different characters. It's only been out for, a few months. I'd imagine a lot of the people in the community are maybe only like 1 or 2 months old. Try different characters. I find it myself enjoying at least half of the cast.
Jenny's sick, by the way.
I'd like to.
It looks cool, at least.
On the topic of character loyalty, I also want to ask. There are people I've seen a lot of people get angry about or accuse people of just like tier whoring. Some people definitely do that. It's okay for people to have more than one character or switch to a different character if they feel they just can't do it with this character due to a patch or a change. That's fine. Don't because I come from a bunch of communities. One being a relatively niche game that not a lot of people know about called Toho Souten Soku, and there were certain times where I would switch characters just because I couldn't do it with my character. It was just not, it wasn't doable, and people would criticize you a lot for that just because they're like, oh, you're just picking whatever's the best at the time. It's a really, whilst there might be people who do that, it's a really silly concept to hold someone to a standard that if you play a different character, you're switching because you're not good, or like you're not a quote character loyalist. I think that's a really silly, somewhat silly concept to like expect people to do that when they would prefer to do something else, if that makes any sense.
No, I see what you mean.
I feel like you shouldn't disrespect someone for it, because that's happened to me a couple times in previous communities. It's happened to me a bit when I played 4.
Mm-hmm. Like, what specific instance can you think of in 4 that you had to do that?
I used to be a Falco player in 4. Falco and Marth pre-patch, because everybody knows Vanilla Marth wasn't great. When Cloud came out, he was something I was interested in from the beginning. A, I like Final Fantasy, and B, he just seemed cool. And I got a lot of people that threw flack my way just because I hopped onto a bandwagon, apparently. When in reality, it was A, I was getting a little bit tired of playing Falco, because there were certain things about him I just couldn't play the way I wanted to. And I got a lot of flack for not being loyal to my character, quote. And that kind of stuff was upsetting to me. It didn't happen as much as it did in traditional fighting games. In Hisout and Soku, it happened a lot. I can't give specific examples because nobody would know what the hell I'm talking about. But my point is, if someone decides to pick up a new character, don't assume it's because that character is just better than the other and they don't want to deal with, or they don't want to get better. They just want to play a better character. Yeah, everybody's got their reasons. Some of us just, there are things we want that character can't give us.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that is part of the reason that I'm trying out Ginny now as opposed to Fish, because I stuck with Fish for months, and I still adore him, even during the nerfs, but right now, Ginny is just capable of doing so much right now, and she's just really fun. I feel that's the other X factor. Sometimes you're just having more fun with another character. Full stop.
I know that feel.
Yep, I know the feeling as well.
There was
I had a lot more fun playing like things like Cloud or ZSS or Robin or something like that as opposed to playing Falco. But
guys,
Yeah.
quick question: Am I cutting out at all?
Right
now, no.
Right now, we're hearing you pretty well, Rambo.
Okay.
But as much as that rings true, I feel the opposite rings just as true. I feel there's no shame in changing a character if you're finding something not fun, whether it be with the character itself or the meta. For instance, I don't blame a single Fish for not wanting to play Fish if they're in Rim jail.
Fair enough.
In fact, I think we're going to use that as a segue to talk about some of the questionable parts of the meta right now. Because right now, like the tools are there. The tools are there to have an extremely robust and creative engine. Because the engine of Slap City is fantastic. One of the best I've ever played, full stop. But unfortunately for a lot of characters, I feel some people in the community, a lot of people in the community for that matter, feel that it encourages a certain level of either defensive or campy play. There's the Rim Jail, as I mentioned. Air camping. I feel for a lot of characters, air camping is a persistent issue. That alone is what got... I feel that's what put the final nail in the coffin on Palace being banned. and being relegated to doubles.
Yep.
Hmm.
In theory, Palace is a perfectly fine stage. Like on paper, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
But in
it's
practice, Slap City lends itself to the more space, the more degenerate, I guess you could say, the gameplay gets. And you can see that pretty clearly with Fluffy. Fluffy is much more close quarters, and you see less of it, but it is still a large like box. So with Remedy, that doesn't really solve the issue.
I apologize for some of the background noise, by the way.
oh,
Um,
don't worry, the filter is very fine. Not much is coming in.
Okay. It's important to keep in mind that a balance is needed in terms of those stages. If everything was like fluffy, it wouldn't solve the problem of, campy stuff. That would make the problem that wouldn't even be an option, and some people want to play that way. Whether you like it or not, some people want to play that way.
Yeah.
And you have to respect that because the game should allow you, like this game based on the freedom, should allow you to play that way if that's what you want to do.
I think a large part of the issue with air camping and why it's so effective is because a lot of the characters don't have the tools to handle vertical combat.
I let me just rephrase what I said real quick. I apologize
No, it's
before
fine.
we get on that because I agree with that wholeheartedly. I'm not saying that it's like something that we need to keep the way it is, but there needs to be moderation. You can't just say remove this stage because it allows Jenny to camp. That's not the thing that you need to be looking at. If it's one mechanic that is universally good on like independent of stage, that's when it becomes a problem. But that's why counter picks exist.
Yeah, definitely. So, going back to what I was saying earlier, like the, a lot of characters don't have like the tools for vertical combat. Like, for example, many of the characters I believe don't have very viable up airs in order to like basically poke anyone that decides to stick to the air for too long. The only one who I would think has a viable up air is Jenny. Well, maybe a couple others in very niche situations like Idle
Rem,
and Rem and
Rim's up air is a bit
BCM.
of a different case.
BCM has a usable situational up air.
It's situation, but as far as like a threatening poking up air, Jenny's
Yeah.
about the only one.
Yeah, as like a spaced out poking one, not used off. Like, I think we're talking about something that can work off of a stray hit. Which Slap City doesn't lend itself to very well right now.
Yeah, also just in general, it's like the mobility of just about every character in the game is relatively slow, if I'm going to be honest. Like that's part of the reason why Saturn is actually kind of a problem, because circle camping is very common because the characters just aren't fast enough to combat it. Like by the time they get to the other side of the stage, bam, you can just hop on over to the other side of the stage by going over the top platform and whatnot. So I just think that part of the defensive play stems from the fact that the characters aren't as fast as they could be. And I know that former top player Wampa is actually suggested that the character speeds should be buffed ever so slightly. That way, that could
As
be
in universally buffed.
yes, universally buffed. Yes, so that way, like people could options could be like conversions could happen easier. Like being able to maneuver around some of the more jank tools could be easier, and combating camping can be easier.
I do believe this applies to ground speed movement.
Ground speed, even airspeed, to be honest.
Airspeed feels like it would escalate. It would just like keep the problem the same.
Yeah.
Because then
possibly.
then it's just it's the same numbers. It's like before I can get to this end of the stage, they go over me to the other one. But they if they're going faster, like you're saying, jumping over them, and that's faster than I can get there, then that also creates a bit of an issue.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, just fixing like numbers universally in terms of speed isn't the right move. It would have to be like there needs to be some reason to be grounded. is the thing, and that would be a good reason to be grounded, is to combat that kind of camping.
Yeah, and actually, while we're on that subject of grounding, just like grounding, like being in the air is probably a lot more beneficial than being on the ground right now. Also because of the clanking system. Like a
Yeah.
lot of the aerials that are currently in the game beat out a lot of the tilts that are on the ground. So if you're approaching from the air, you're more likely to win an engagement than if you're waiting on the ground, anticipating their movements and preparing like a tilt to punish them. And I don't know how to feel about that because in my personal opinion, I think that being being above someone should be a disadvantage. But that's just because you committed to that move against someone who is prepared to take you on the ground and on a more stable environment. You know?
I don't know if disadvantage is the best way to put it, but the point should be that if someone is in the air, the ground should have a way to like maneuver around their option of either baiting you or just hitting you with an attack. And in my opinion, shielding isn't the strongest thing in this game. Personally, I don't think so, especially against some characters that have just some safe on shield stuff. Acting out a shield can be a little bit awkward for a couple of characters.
That's a consensus that a few people are behind right now. It's shielding right now is underwhelming. Power shielding's really good.
Yeah, but like the thing about power shielding is that against an aerial, it doesn't help.
Right.
Because they can just kind of fade back out of the range of the punish.
I apologize. I think I cut out.
A little bit.
Okay, I apologize. So what I mean by what I said was the problem is regardless of how good power shielding is, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't matter against an aerial that can be spaced. There's no quick way to punish something like an unsafe aerial on shield is hard to come by in characters like, I don't know, say Ruby. He could just kind of fair your shield for free. So what's the point in anything but power shielding?
And also, there's like a small. I'm not sure if it's a bug or if it's just like something that was intended to be put in the game, but sometimes there's like this mini pushback on Power Shield, and if it's done by the ledge, it can push you off onto the ledge without invincibility.
Yeah, it's a big
And
problem.
it's definitely caused a lot of problems with people in the past.
I think shield pushback in general, especially power shield pushback, is something that's a lot suspect.
Yeah, like outside of light shield, it really shouldn't be causing pushback. Like maybe some very light pushback on regular shield from like a very heavy hitting move, but other than that, it's like that's probably best if it didn't push back. And also, I noticed in the chat I saw VXDI, which was another.
Ooh,
VXDI
now
is an
that's a can
interesting
of worms.
mechanic. Like that's an interesting mechanic that was originally added onto Ruby's up air and down throw in an effort to make it so that people couldn't be caught in those chains anymore from back in June. So basically what VXDI is you hold the direction you want to be launched in before the attack comes out. I'm not sure if this is right. Someone in chat, please correct me if I'm wrong. So, and basically when the attack executed, you would be essentially launched in that direction. And a lot of people there's been very mixed reactions in the community regarding VXDI. Some people see it as just like a bandage, like a flimsy bandage, just trying to cover up an even larger problem. Whereas some people praise it because it finally got rid of the busted thing that was plaguing it for so long. So I'm kind of in the former camp because there's definitely like there are fundamental issues I believe like that are currently in the meta right now that can't just be fixed by VXCI. Like
Right.
I don't think it's a cure-all per se, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad addition either. It's not a problem. right now. I think there are more important things for the devs to be working on than finding a better solution to VXDI. And I mean, me personally, I think it's pretty cool. It leads to less guaranteed combos and more player-based reaction combos, which is always good. And while in paper, like, yeah, it's a pretty simple solution, but sometimes simple solutions are pretty plausible solutions.
Yeah, true. I feel like I'm in an amalgamation of both camps. I do think it's a bandage, but I don't think that's inherently a bad thing, because sometimes you just need that bandage to address a quick fix while they start discussing actual balance changes, because it's pretty rare, I think, that we're going to see VXDI be the be-all, end-all definitive balance change to a given move.
Speaking of devs and balance changes, can I just take a moment to give a shout out to Cinex and Remar, just for like them communicating so much with the community through the Ludosity Discord?
Oh yes, especially recently. God bless Ramar's soul for having to go through all those docs that everybody had to write up. If people in chat aren't familiar with this, Ramar a while back asked for people to write up their thoughts on the characters as they exist now, how they enjoy them, how viable they think they are, potential suggestions, and he got dozens of those docs sent his way. He had to spend like either an entire day or 2 days just reading through them and sorting out everything people are saying, so that he can put out a beta branch on Steam for people to test drive these builds based on community feedback. It's
Like,
insane.
It takes a lot of work, a lot of patience, and just very thick skin in order to deal with all that, to be completely honest. Although the community for the most part has been pretty supportive of the Ludosity devs, and that's something that I don't really see a lot of in a lot of different communities. And
it's mostly because, if you ask me, the primary reason is that Ludosity has been so good to us. You know, like Ludosity has been pretty good to us, if you ask me. And like I feel like to an extent, it's so hard to say that they don't warrant all the respect, like that much respect. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely.
They don't
everybody
need to be paying
deserves
attention to us at
respect,
all.
but they've been doing so good for us. So
yeah, they could just be sitting in the background, not responding to anything, not paying attention, being like, okay, players are gonna be players. They are so integrated in what we do right now. We wouldn't be anywhere with Ludosity. Goes without saying, they made the game, but like the fact that they're even paying attention to us and being so ingrained in the community itself instead of just being the people who ship it out is admirable. They seem very invested in what we think about their games. They do it for us, and it's you don't see it very often.
Yeah,
Ludosity
definitely.
is a pretty great company.
yeah,
Like,
I mean, for God's sake, they're the one giving us our prize money.
They
you know?
pay so much money for
It's
us.
$500 isn't like $500.
They're a
lot.
business. Like
It's a lot
it's a lot
per week.
Not per week.
Yeah, I'm kidding. But I was hoping.
That'd be a whole different story.
Yeah, that'd be hella.
Can I just take like a brief moment to comment on this side being a down smash tech from Psycho?
Yeah,
Like,
this
what
is
is that?
Yeah, that was crazy.
I don't.
I was
I
actually,
forget-
I was actually like
yeah.
spaced out for a moment watching that. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I forget which fish it was to discover that. I think Psycho said it was Flex, but hot damn, when I saw that, it's like, God, fish mains are the best. No bias, but fish mains
Shout
are the
out.
best.
No bias,
to
but
Fish
here's
Mains.
my biased opinion.
From a former fish main.
From a former player.
And
From a
Also-
small indie company, it's very nice of them that they even have the opportunity. You know what? I'm going to briefly touch on this because I'm not sure how many people in chat are familiar with this. Slap City originally was going to be Ludosity's last game. It was originally going to be their swan song, and they wanted to go out with a bang. So to see the game not only be successful, but absolutely trailblaze a community to the extent that the company that was initially going to go under now has the means of getting persistent prize pools on a monthly basis with no real sign of stopping. It's fantastic, and it warms my heart.
It's worth mentioning that they're also pitching in thousands of dollars to fund people to go to Genesis.
For Slap League, I honestly did not expect it to like Slap City to go from the grassroots that it did, like back when I was around, to having Slap League and being at one of the largest one of the largest stages in like a platform fighter competitive scene. Like, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, Ludosity as a company has earned my unending loyalty and love. Because
by Ludosity
I started off
stocks.
with the It'll Do games is where I know about them from primarily. Amazing games, by the way. Please go play those. I don't care if you hate It'll Do as a character. Please go play the game.
Yeah,
amazing.
Ludosity's
amazing.
backlog is fantastic. It'll Do, go play it. Princess Remedy, go play it. Card City Knights, go play it.
Please play it.
Bob Came in
times.
Pieces. Okay, don't play that one, but play all the others.
Don't play it.
Bob Came in Pieces. What's
Don't worry
that game?
about it.
Don't worry about it.
To be completely honest,
did we just confirm the 8th character?
I actually
Let's go,
didn't
Bob.
hear about like
Let's go,
Ludosity
Bob.
until Slap City through Video Game Donkey. To be completely honest,
Let's go, Donkey.
Yeah, I had no idea about Ludosity either.
Don't shout outs to Donkey. He doesn't need it.
but he's
everybody,
cool.
Everybody here knows Donkey.
Please like us back, Donkey.
Yeah, can I get a Nope.
Nice.
Forgot. I blanked.
Okay, so that's a no to your question.
I don't know. Can I get a high five?
High five to the mic.
That was the weakest high five. I can't believe this. Did
Close
something
enough.
break? It sounded like something. It sounded like he threw something.
The only thing that broke is my heart after that harsh comment. Weak
That
clap.
wasn't harsh. It was really enthusiastic. Like that was like the hardest high five that you might have broken something. I'm kind of worried. That's all.
Princess Remedy, undisputed best girl. Wrong. Tipsy.
Let's go.
Tipsy's a girl?
Tipsy's a girl.
The more you know.
Did you know that Idle's a girl?
No.
I don't think. Did any of you play It'll Do 1?
I played
I
It'll
played
Do
a little
1.
bit.
Everybody in chat better play It'll Do 1
Yeah,
and 2, by the
there was,
way.
My
So you're
favorite
buying
line
that
of
from me, right?
dialogue is halfway through the game where Tipsy, it's mentioned Idle's a girl, and Tipsy's like, "Wait, Idle, you're a girl?"
Oh
And, like,
yeah, I
it's
remember that part.
And then like her face is just deadpan, like, "Oh my god."
It'll did the
Yeah, I
same thing
remember
to
that part.
Tipsy.
Yeah, I know. It's great. The writing in that game is everything about.
The writing
so
in
good.
Ludosity games are fantastic. That's why I'm so excited for... Okay, this is a bit off tangent, but I'm so excited for this upcoming single-player story mode. Because people...
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be so many people's first experience with Ludosity's writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ludosity is great game development company,
hilarious.
first of all. But this is their first platform fighter. They're not used to balancing metas and refining complex physics engines. All right? They're used to making like Legend of Zelda type stuff or
Yeah,
just
Link to the Past. Things are very heavy on world building, is what
Yeah.
they're used to.
yeah.
And by
then-
God, can they build a world?
So
Yes.
if you think Slap City and Ludosity is focusing all of their efforts and their talents and that they're all based on making competitive games, you are wrong. Slap City is a mistake, but a good mistake, if that makes any sense. Like, it wasn't supposed to be what it is becoming right now. It was just supposed to be fun. And it being fun is what's helping it survive right now. By all means, like, they make really fun games. But the fact that they're catering to a competitive audience in and of itself, I don't think they could have ever seen that coming. Especially considering their rap sheet and what they have made in the past. It's just so different.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what they do with
Forte was like their peak. I don't want to say peak, but in my opinion, the best game my favorite game they've made. Even though I love Slap City to death, It'll Do 2 was so good. and its writing was so clever and so funny, and everything about it was amazing. And one thing I want to stress is that this, like, their I apologize. One moment. The train of thought is gone. Um, all these characters from Slab City, I'm sure everyone knows this by now, but it's like, if you're not familiar with other Ludosity games, these are characters that are just as amazing and entertaining as they look. You know? Like something like Fish Bungeon, they didn't just like come up with that for Slab City off the top of their head. This thing's got like an entire lore to it. And like an
It's
entire race of
fascinating.
actual fish bun that aren't Fish Bungeon. It's like, it's beautiful. Everything about it is beautiful.
It absolutely is, and it's kind of funny how this being their first foray into the platform fighter, and yet in a lot of ways it is the truest like spiritual successor realization of Melee of any platform fighter on PC.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's a game celebrating all the company's IPs, and it caters to the casual audience while having a deep competitive core.
Pretty much.
Without even it being intentionally for a competitive war.
Yeah,
Just like Melee.
Yeah, no, I think Slap City drives so many ties to Melee, and that's why I think a lot of Melee players, out of like all of these pop-ups platform fighters, are looking at Slap City as like one of the more appealing of them, because it's genuinely just trying to be a good game, and it's technically like, not technically as in like specifically, but technically as in like the tech and the actual things you can do in the game is so vast. They're not trying to cookie cutter and tell you this is how to play the game. They're giving you all the ingredients to play how you want. And that in and of itself is a great strategy.
I think what's also like really, really interesting about how they made this game is like taking the philosophy that things, when it comes to like a comparison for Melee, they took away the unnecessary without removing complexity. Like an example I like using is shield drops, right? They're so particular that it's become an issue where there was a universal mod to fix it so like shield drops would be consistent. And this game just hit B. Hit B while you're in your shield, you'll shield drop. Not only is that like, it is easier, but A, does not remove any of the complexity. There's nothing like removed from that mechanic. It's just how you do it. And B, it makes it more accessible. You don't have to learn to like sit there and practice it for like 5 hours just to get that angle right. And even then it's inconsistent to the point where top players are complaining, occasionally, oh, I lost this because I didn't shield drop. There's no lost complexity. It's just accessible to everybody.
Yeah,
I still can't shield drop.
Oh.
Well, that's on
in
you.
Slap City I can shield drop. But,
Okay,
like,
I was
Melee,
like, what?
Okay.
Do you not have
in
a
Melee,
beatbox?
Okay.
I don't even consider it part of my strategy. I just can't do it, and I don't want to have to rely on it.
Yeah.
So,
but what I'm
casts-
saying is the option is there and is accessible to everyone, even if you're playing casually.
Yes.
It's not like anything fancy. You just hit the B button and shield.
It's fantastic how Ludosity managed to simplify and streamline these options without dumbing them down.
Also,
That's a perfect way to put it.
So can I just take a brief moment to give a shout out to the clutch button? That thing
Yes.
is a
That
lifesaver.
mechanic is amazing.
Full stop. I want every other platform fighter to just outright steal that mechanic.
Just
I
like
wanna
all other platform fighters have stolen from other ones.
Yes, I want to clutch in every platform fighter now. It is it messes me up so much because I swear to God, every time I pick up Melee, if I just get off playing Slap City for the first like 10-20 minutes, I try to clutch. I
wanna
will
clutch
try to
out
clutch.
related.
So many times when I went back to Project M, I was like, please just let me butt clutch as Captain Falcon, please.
Yo, people in chat, press 1 if you have felt the same thing, felt the same struggle of trying to clutch in other platform fighters.
Yeah, no,
Because
I'm
I know I'm not
actually
alone.
with you on that one.
I mean, even in Rivals, I tried to clutch as like Zetter's down B, like with the fire punch into the ground. Like, I can do this. Like,
That I
That
tried,
looks like something you
actually.
should clutch. Ludosity is
Said you B reverse it, yeah.
And this is where Ludosity really shines. This is why I have a lot of faith in Ludosity. Regardless of what you think about how they balance this game or what they want the game to be, they are geniuses when it comes to game design. They thought of Clutch. It's probably like the best new mechanic to platform fighters or fighters in general in the last few years, at least. It is so just flexible and simple. It works. It's hype. It's so good.
It's so good. And
Clutch
the
doesn't
funniest
work with
thing,
Flex.
but the funniest thing is, and I don't know how many people who are fairly new, like 1 or 2 months into this community, are aware of this. Clutch was not originally in the game.
I remember when it came out.
Yeah,
I was still
Clutch,
a noob.
Yeah, Clutch was introduced the patch after BCM was added.
Yeah.
Because BCM initially had no way of not selling his moves if he had enough money. So they had to make up a brand new mechanic for him to not sell money. And instead of it just being a dedicated BCM button, they went all the way.
I did not know that backstory. That's hilarious. They created one of the best fighting mechanics in a very long time to help BCM.
Capitalism wins again. I'm just saying.
So,
do you see anybody arguing?
So I heard Rep mentioning something about newer players not knowing much about Clutch, but I just like to take a moment to, I guess, focus on some of the newer players that have been popping up relatively recently. Just because
Absolutely.
I know that. So even though this game's only been out for like 5 months, we've seen like a lot of people come and go. Like a lot of people come in, have their like 15 minutes of fame, and still like be able to this like, you know, make their impression in the Slap community. So I think like we were talking about Rev earlier. He was actually relatively new to the Slap community. Like he came in like not too long ago, and he's already making waves in brackets. Like he's taking names from some of the best players like Babunga, Dilapidator, and another relatively new player, Booker.
Yep. I was just about to mention Booker.
And Booker, I actually played him a couple of months back, like actually in July, and he was. I know I talked about him in the last SlapCast, but he's still going on strong, and I cannot give him anything but praise. And it's just amazing to me how like these people just coming out of the blue and just make so many upsets happen. And it just goes to show that the meta is always changing, and how when old players leave, there are new ones that are coming to take their place. Like back when I started, I think Noche was really big in the game. Like they were very dominant. It was Zage, Cree, Techie, Wonder
Not
Boy.
Me. You have to specify the 318 when we're talking about Noche Cree.
Oh, Cree 318. Excuse me. I'm sorry. And just now most of them are. So Noche is
no, exactly that, Rambo. You see in chat, Rev asking, "Yo, what is Noche?"
Okay, I'd like to point something out. Sorry for the clapping meme again. I just do that. Do !SCO. It'll take you to the leaderboards. Click all time. If you've been here for maybe like around a month, less, maybe a little bit over, read through the top 50. Let me know how many names you recognize. I hope this puts a little bit into perspective how often and frequently players filter in and out of this game. People are trying it out. Some are coming from other scenes like Melee, Rivals of Aether, etc. So they already have some platform fighter knowledges that could put them in really high spots, but they only play a little bit and then go back to their game. It's just, it has a lot of the symptoms that come from being a new game in a genre that is already very established. You'll see names come and go really quickly, and only a handful out of every wave of new people will stick around. So you'll see that with, for example, Babunga. Babunga's been here forever. Cairo. You've got some names that have lasted for months, and you'll also see people who are almost at the same skill level who have only been playing for a couple of weeks. It's not unheard of.
Tater, it takes you to beta bracket 4 because it hasn't been updated in a month.
Ignore the tournament. Click the leaderboard.
It's a good point, though, how it really is like cutting open a tree and counting the rings, just counting all these players, some that are very familiar, some that's gone, well gone from public consciousness. In fact, just off the top of my head, let me... Don't recognize 12 out of the... That sounds about right. For right now, the
let's
top
go,
10
Rev.
seems
Number
good,
50.
but...
Nice.
Yeah, just scrolling through it bit by bit, there's a lot of names that just aren't around anymore, period.
No, not at all. Don't hear from anyone at all. And on the other side of the coin, if you're in bracket and you see a name that you've never heard of, you don't recognize, do not sleep on them. Do not assume that they are below everyone else.
You know what? I'll just say this one audibly. We don't talk about Dark Pikachu.
Dark Pikachu was
What did I just say, Cree?
No. This is part of our history, Rapidio. It's part of our history. Okay, Dark Pikachu was a BCM player. He participated in, I believe, Beta Bracket 2. It might have been Beta Bracket 3. He did very well.
It was 2.
It was 2? Thank you.
Yeah, it was 2.
But it was still young in the scene, and he did heavily rely on certain aspects that weren't necessarily refined yet, and when they were changed, he left the scene. That's basically all there is to say about him.
I mean, that's basically all that we can say on stream.
I have the one clip of Rep flexing through his self forward
smash.
smash.
That is the one and only time that I was so happy that Flex had armor. Just, I got in a voice chat with him immediately after, and his soul was destroyed.
It was followed by a down throw too. It was absolutely
down throw.
beautiful.
Poor down throw. Poor down throw. Why'd you have to remind me of that?
Yeah. Did they get an F?
F.
Speaking of history and Rapidio being sad,
I do not like this segue at all.
Yeah, that's not that's a really bad segue, dude.
If we're going into history, like the viewer, it's not just the players, but the viewers. Slap City is very viewable. There are people in this community that don't even really play in bracket, but will just show up in the streams or watch the VODs on GR Slap. And like the first VOD to kick off, for some reason, was I think like a losers semifinals match between Rapidio and Zage, I want to say.
Yep, that's it.
Back when a couple hundred views was a big deal. All of a sudden, one of the VODs started getting like thousands. And we were so confused. Why is this VOD getting so many views? I still don't know why that was one of the big ones. It's still like one of the top 10 most viewed.
To clarify, right now it has over 11,000 views.
But why? That's like one part of my history I don't understand.
I don't know.
Why was that video the one to blow up?
Yeah, why is the video where I choked hard on stream, the first time I ever played Zage, have to be the one to blow up?
Because Rep sucks.
No sympathy.
Rambo.
Not on the VODs, Juzo, no. The VODs now are getting like 100 is par. The VODs are doing very well.
Yeah, the set was not wild, unless you enjoy old BCMGs.
Wildly
I mean, we don't have any breakout VODs like Babunga West Balls. Like that one blew up super fast. But our VODs will get like a solid couple hundred for like the first couple days and then slowly trickle in. And since we have hundreds of VODs, like it racks up to thousands a week. So it's not bad. That being said, we need to find people who are willing to highlight VODs. So like
that
if you're out there,
please help me.
If you're out there and you've got maybe like an hour to spare and you want to highlight some VODs for us, and then we'll take it from there, that would be super appreciated.
Oh my god,
actually,
no, we have to.
Speaking of which, I promise this is not going to be as much of a self-plug as it's going to sound immediately. I'm working on a video myself for every character individually. So right. I guess I'll type out my Discord name in chat. If you want to send over clips from any character, uh, with whatever info you want about it, send it over. It's gonna make its way into a video if it's quality. So.
Yeah.
Also, can I take a moment as a plug? Like, I'm thinking about doing player highlights. So basically, like, those who may not like get their name out there because like they don't like maybe they don't do as well as Sprint Bracket, or they don't get an opportunity to get on stream. And basically, if you have like any cool clips that you want like to send, then feel free to I can put my Discord down relatively soon. But you can send them to me, or I can also put down my email if you'd like to send them there in the SEO Discord. And I'm trying to finish it up by the first one up by this week, but it's exam season, so yeah.
Be sure to send Rambo as many clips as possible to overload him.
I have a follow-up to that. So, as many of you may know, the primary VOD receptacle we have right now is the YouTube channel GR Slap. It is a play on GR Smash, for those who are familiar with that scene. I'm sure many of you are. And for those that are familiar, you might be under the impression that usually means highlight videos or top 10 videos and stuff. I'm finally going to start putting my digital arts education in actual video editing to use. And I would like to actually start uploading more refined content to the channel if possible. So if you have clips that you want to send, please send me them. The email is literally barren. I haven't really plugged it in a while because I've been taking some time to figure out what I want to do. And I have concluded that I do want to make these videos. It's something I've always wanted to do and just never had the time. And now that I'm finally starting to get a little bit more specialized in what I do here, it's a good opportunity for me to start creating some content for you guys.
Making videos is
I'm on the same boat there. Both combo videos. I used to do a lot of stuff for because my primary background in terms of like competitive gaming was I am still actually a competitive TF2 player, and my primary thing I did there a lot of the time for the teams I would play for was make frag movies, which was the equivalent of combo videos, and I still do it. I still love doing it. So yeah, anything like that, as well as like if you have any like mishaps, whatever you want to put in, throw some clips my way. I'm gonna make stuff out of it. It's something I really like doing, something I haven't had an outlet to do in a while, and with where I'm at currently, I have a lot of free time. So
yeah, actually, I actually made a few combo videos myself. I actually made the not top tier but it'll do series, and I was actually inspired by a YouTuber that I used to watch, Nephros or Bidoof, who made the Salty Highlight series.
I remember Bidoof.
Yo, playing him was like a dream come true. Like he was like one of my biggest idols. So being able to play with him was absolutely incredible, and it honestly it inspired me to it inspired me to make all those videos, and I made like 15 to 16 um entries before I ended up stopping, just because it was getting to be a bit tiresome, and also I stopped competing, so wasn't getting to be as I guess as good. So, but yeah, I'm definitely would like to keep making videos because it's very fun. Although I'm still trying to get the hang of video editing because I'm not great at it yet.
While
Yeah,
we're on the
Rambo, you and
topic
I-
of preemptive plugging, Rapidio also makes content, and you should go check him out.
I take a lot of time making my videos because I enjoy making videos.
He also has a really good review on Slap, and it was very accurate, and you should watch it before you voice opinions.
It blew up for some reason. I don't know why, but thank you to people who watched that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Rep.
Okay, not you.
No,
Wow.
yeah, I'm a come clean. I didn't watch it, so
Wow.
yeah.
Well, then why
I
are
wish
you
I could
even
take my-
here,
I,
Holiday?
You
I wish I
asked
could
me
take
to
my
fill in.
youth back. You
Fair
jerk.
enough.
I'm here
That's
because you
my
asked
beat.
me to be here. I don't know what else. I don't know what kind of answer you were expecting, buddy. But
All right, So now that we've, talked about what we want to do and plugged it, you want to try and get some games in before we wrap up, and then just
Sure.
talk for a while we do so, and then call it, because I think we've gotten to everything on our itinerary.
Yeah,
Maybe.
more or less.
The one thing we haven't gotten to is a very tentative subject. Theoretical tier list.
Oh yeah,
Actually,
And
though,
that-
you're right.
But I feel like that one is fine to have some gameplay in the background of, because
Yeah,
we can talk about
exactly.
tier lists while we play.
That's what I was about
Let's
to
do that.
recommend.
So-
How about
Alright,
we all compare our
let
most
me-
hated characters
Let me boot up Slap real
Do
quick.
not
whilst we
get
get
me started
upset
on
and
It'll
play the
Do.
video game?
Do not get me started on
So
It'll
much
Do.
hate for It'll Do. It hurts.
Okay, no, I don't hate It'll Do. Like, when
Hey,
I play It'll Do,
hey, Rambo.
I enjoy it.
You know what hurts? It'll do.
Yeah, It'll Do.
Her foot
People need to stop whining about
it.
It'll Do. Hot take, I think It'll Do is one of the best characters in the game.
So
That makes my video title false.
Cairo and I, he agrees with my my little wordplay that I made up. It'll do more like bottom two.
Ooh,
Yeesh.
but like, I just like the. But if It'll's top tier, then my video titles won't mean anything. It's not top tier, but it'll do, right?
I thought that was talking about you not being top tier.
No, that was because It'll was considered bad at around the time I started making them.
Gotcha.
I mean,
okay.
I'm also not top tier, so I mean, it works.
Yeah, fair enough. With all things considered, like, sure, I think right now where she is in terms of how she's being played and how far she's pushed, I agree that she might not be the best. But in terms of her tools, her potential, her options, I think she has currently the best composition to be top tier, especially with the direction it seems to be going. I don't think there's going to be any drastic changes to the game right now. And I think over time, It'll Do is just going to be able to answer certain things that arise in the meta better, just because she has so many different things she can do.
It'd also be cool if down air was not negative on hit.
I think her
Yeah.
downer needs a little bit of work. That's my biggest qualm with her. Like, bombs,
That's mine as
I
well.
will yell
It's
at bombs
complete.
until
It's complete garbo.
I will
Also,
yell at
It's so
bombs.
dumb.
Also, shout outs to back air for not killing until like 160.
Hey man,
Oh,
I
wait.
think that's. I honestly don't
This
care
is-
about that at all.
I don't know why I thought you said down air. I was thinking down B. My bad.
Oh, down B.
I
Okay,
was thinking
down B
butt.
is a completely different can of worms.
Yeah. I think that is one of the most broken things in the game now. Except maybe like Rem air camping, but butt is pretty intense.
Rev, to mention that,
What is this ban
that's
list,
hella hard.
Rambo?
Oh, what the hell?
Here,
Why in the hell are those still there? Hang on. I could have sworn I got rid of those. I did not. Alright. We're gonna try it again.
Oh my goodness, so unprofessional for the
quiet.
viewing audience at home.
Shh. No one saw that.
Did the lobby already break?
That's a good question.
No.
Okay, nope.
Get back in here.
It's technical difficulties.
Oh my.
Hold up. There we go.
There we go.
Can you join lobby and run emote scripts? You know what? Yes.
Sure.
Everybody in chat, I have a mission for you. Join this
Don't-
lobby and spam emotes.
I wanna see all the
Nobody,
lemons.
not a single person that better be fighting each other. I want to see all the remaining 10 slots filled to the brim and nothing but lemons.
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 Maybe the
Why
occasional
lemons?
flyer. Why not lemons? Ah,
Is this only a 2-player lobby?
it is a two-player.
It's a 2-player lobby.
But we have
Two.
4 people.
All right, we can bump up the 4 players. Let's do it. All right,
I mean, I don't know what else we would do.
What do you mean?
let's go for it.
Hold up. Weird emote? Are you calling lemons weird?
All the emotes are weird. It's ludosity.
Oh my
Let's
god,
see.
this is just occurring to me. Holiday, you better get in here fast.
I'm in.
Okay.
I might be under my my alter ego, but
Oh my god, that profile pic.
It's all based off of Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Oh, dude, so John Lime.
All right, chat. Who should I play? I might be a Jenny main under heavy quotation marks, but I do like to play a large amount of characters. Like, I would say there was a period of time where I genuinely enjoyed playing Fish way more than I do Jenny, and I still do like really want to play Fish as opposed to playing Jenny. But
Actually, you know what?
Also, quick shout out to anybody who's played against Ojama Lime. Quick
Pater, you
shout
know my
out.
Ruby's not gonna.
All right.
You.
I'm not
Are we
gonna
about
play.
ready?
It'll do then. Who am
Yeah.
I gonna play?
Just about. Other people can flood in as they see fit.
All
I'm not
right,
playing my
so
main on
tier
here.
lists. People, who do you think is the best in the game
Rem.
right now?
Ram.
Rem.
Rem.
All right, it's decided. That wasn't hard.
I don't think there was much objection to that one.
Yeah, I don't think there could be.
All right, so we'll talk about 2. Who do you guys think is the second best?
Goddess.
Goddess, probably.
Idle.
Ruby.
Idle.
What
Riddle.
the hell?
I think Idle.
Ruby.
Interesting. Why do you say that?
Oh,
She,
I forgot to reset the map. Oh, you don't forget.
No, this is good.
I think Idle, as I was saying before, she has so many different options. Now, not necessarily, like, sure, her kill confirms are a bit linear,
Oh no.
and her grab is absolute trash, don't get me wrong.
Oh, her grab's so bad. I don't even go and start on that, please.
But she has options that can aid her in her recovery. Her recovery is very good.
Wait, no, let me out of here.
Her pressure is very good. Her spacing is very good. She can excel in almost all kinds of styles. She can't answer air camping right now, but that's
Oh, yeah, air
different-
camping
That's
is,
such a strong thing right now.
huge.
That's
Yeah,
the
air camping
problem.
is a strong thing, but it shouldn't be a strong thing. And
That
like,
doesn't
really
mean
shouldn't,
that
though.
just because something should be strong doesn't mean that that makes a character good.
Ow.
so if you're playing against Remedy, sure, you're boned. But if you're playing against the rest of the cast, you've got a pretty good chance.
Yeah, my name's
Really?
Jen.
Really, Rap?
My name's
Jeez.
Jenny. My
Ow.
name Goddess.
I'm pretty sure Diddle does pretty well.
I
against
actually
Remedy.
do like that. But what I'm saying is, no, it's not just a Rem problem.
I think it is. I think she has positive matchups.
Stop,
with
Rambo!
all the other characters.
Why though?
Oh no!
I have to beat you up. Oh, I'm dead.
No, please not like this.
no,
No, God, let me out.
no, Creestab.
Wait, I tried to appease the frog with a frog and it didn't work.
I think
Uh-oh.
Idle wins against Fish, wins against Jenny,
Uh-oh.
if not even. I think
Please not like this.
it really depends on playstyle if you're going as BCM. BCM should win. And then Ruby can also be a challenge, but the rest of the cast.
Oh.
Ow.
I'm very angry that down smash didn't hit you or up smash. Oh,
Peace.
that's what you get for playing. That's what you get for playing a bad character, dummy.
Fish is a good
Oh,
character.
yeah. There you go, Pater.
Yeah, and Idle's
by
second
all means,
best.
is a good character, but
A lot of people who play Fish play him very specifically. You need to have many different
oh,
options,
boy.
even if it's not the obvious option. If you just stick with Fish's obvious options, then yes, he's not great.
oh my.
What?
Well, there he goes.
I'm
Somebody
gone.
kill Rep.
I'm gone.
You're just
I'm just gone.
wiped
I'm
from
gone
existence?
forever. I think I might have died in real life. Can't confirm, but it's a thought.
Oh. No.
Yo, shouts to Michael and his family.
Oh, shoutouts to 2 Fish Bungeon and the skateboard projectile though. Oh no.
No, I'm talking about Michael and his family in the red car over there.
Oh. I was just talking about 2 Fish Bungeon because he was using that skateboard against me so much last
I'm
night.
talking about Michael. Look at him. He is like that is 100% a Michael driver. You know, look at his face. He's not happy to be here, but his family needs to get home somehow.
Nice.
and his son is thinking, hey, it'd be so cool if I just jumped out of this car right now. Oh no! Oh no!
I have to jump!
Not
I have a
another
jump!
one!
Uh-oh.
You're dead.
Woo!
There's no way.
Wham.
Yes! Yes! Worth.
That's crazy.
Yeah, now I'm trying to think of what my tier list would be. I could say this much. Ginny is not bottom tier.
Nope.
Ginny
not
is
bottom.
very clearly not bottom tier.
Jenny is not bottom tier.
No.
She is not, holy.
I hate when
Fishes.
people say that.
You're gonna say that, right? Of course you're gonna say that.
I do think Fish is probably, if you had to pick like the worst, probably the worst, but I really don't think any of the characters in this game are like down and out. I think
Right.
all characters are playable.
Okay.
And like,
And
but
I
who are
agree.
problem
beating
with the tier list
fumbles?
is
And I
that
agree.
It's like,
Like,
it's kind of like
goddamn.
saying, if you're saying like Fish, like just as an example, if you were to say like Fish is the worst in the game, it's like it doesn't mean that Fish can't do anything, because he certainly can.
Yeah, being bottom tier doesn't necessarily equate to being bad. It just
Alright,
equates to
The
being
current problem is like the differential between the second best and the best right now.
People are used to Smash too, I think, where tier lists, like if you're bottom tier, it means you're rarely, if ever, going to see that character. With only 7 characters in this game, that's gonna be really hard.
Also,
Ira!
Dang it.
BCM might be a bit overrated in my opinion.
I agree.
I think BCM is mid.
Yeah, he's definitely not like top tier because like his jab down tilt follow ups are actually like fraudulent. Like you can what?
That was the most dainty knockback stacking I've ever seen.
Oh boy! Wait, I'm leaving.
Ow.
And he's gone.
Holy no!
Okay, now hold on. What have you? Oh, nope. No, go away.
Oh,
How did I not die?
oh.
Have you paid off the juice gods to have it never affect you?
What? Am I dead? I'm not dead yet.
Nobody can place BCM right now because of
Ow!
inexperience. I don't know how much I agree with that, Babel.
Oh my!
Ah!
Ladies and
I
gentlemen,
didn't deserve
ladies
that.
and gentlemen, can I get a bean in the chat?
I didn't deserve that.
You very clearly deserve
Alright,
that.
I'm back. Hello.
Hello.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Please.
What is going on here? No, no, please don't
Yeah,
let me off the
free
edge.
for all.
Okay.
Slap City free for all. Which, by the way, this is part of the reason why I still love this game so much. No matter how
no,
much,
this is hella-
no matter how much experience
Oh,
I get, no matter
Creestab?
how good I get
I
within this
am
meta,
dead.
I
Oh,
can
I'm
still,
not
Beamed
done yet.
super hard.
I can still goof around in free for alls.
Yep.
You guys want to do doubles?
Ooh.
Actually, though. Uh-oh. Darn.
Okay, I need you to not. Why did I said don't? Thinking other opponents, spectators? Potentially. For now, we're sticking with this and just talking about tier list stuff.
Hypothetically.
But you know what? You know what? That's another good segue. Doubles tier list looks very, very different from singles tier list in a lot of people's
I still
eyes.
think Fish is probably near the bottom.
No,
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Double Fish is
Double
the
Fish is
most overrated team, period. It's probably,
Yeah, double Fish should never happen, ever.
it's arguably the single worst composition team you could have.
It's a meme team.
It's
Watch
pretty good.
watch Rapidio and Joggy's run if you get the chance. It's just free for all, basically.
So are we doing teams?
Yeah.
Yes,
Alright, I can fix that.
make that happen,
Yeah.
buddy.
Fix the stages too. I want to do random.
Oh, yeah. Darn. Alright, hang on.
Okay, keep transit on, though.
Well, what about Bumper Town?
Bumper Town is also acceptable.
I have no qualms.
Alright.
Honestly, I'm fine with a full stage list except Fire Zone.
Yo, screw
What?
Fire Zone.
What?
Fire Zone's bad.
Fire Zone is pretty bad, but it's funny.
I don't know what
It's-
it's called. The one with the hand that goes around.
Hell,
Oh,
healing
that
mode?
healing
No,
mode.
healing mode's also bad.
No,
I don't like
what?
that one.
Hold up. Hold up.
Healing mode's bad.
Healing
It's
mode's
okay.
great. Healing
is
mode's
bad.
I
fantastic.
ain't trying to
It's
get a handy
decent.
from any disembodied
Okay,
hands,
this
alright?
this is the new tier list
It's
talk.
Evil
Stage
Randall.
tier list. Stage tier list. Healing
Stage
mode's
tier
top
list.
tier. Fight me.
No, it is not.
Healing mode is not top tier.
Healing
video
mode
game.
is
It's
so
garbage.
top tier. It is
is garbage.
Mode
fantastic.
makes me want to. Healing
I will
mode makes
fight
me
you
want
for
to
this.
die.
I'll fight you over
Ironically,
this. Alright, hang on. Ah,
You guys,
no, John the Lime is getting.
I gotta
You
get
you guys are the
He's
germs that
satiated.
Princess Remedy needs to purge.
How about no?
Healing mode is like the DK of Slap City.
The
Change
what now?
this
Tier
to
list.
slap. Okay, we got to request this. Slap ball dubs with gravity ball.
No, I don't want to because that requires changing a lot, and I don't want.
That requires changing my
Oh, here we go. I think this should
outlook
be
on
good.
life.
Fire Zone is important for speedrunning, apparently.
Here we
I
go.
can see that.
Okay, so hopefully
how
you
do you
set the
see-
stages after Rambo.
Yes, I did.
No, I'm sure it's fun.
Just in case, I'm gonna take a look. It didn't fucking work. Alright, give me one.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Who cares?
Just go with it.
It
Just
didn't work.
Pick actual stages. Don't click random.
Okay, we're good.
Who wants to
Banana
be?
top
Who wants
tier.
to be my bean buddy?
No, banana's top tier.
Who wants to be my
Fine, I'll
bean
be your
buddy?
bean buddy.
I'm fine with this. I'm fine with this.
No, I gotta go help. What's going on? Alright, we're good.
Oh, we're gonna get fuck.
Are you
Rep
kidding me? My
this-
little
this is-
sick.
This is where we unveil our team. This is sliding.
This is where I unveil my secret move.
Thank you, Mint.
Alright.
My bean buddies are in the chat. Yo, press 1 if you're a bean buddy.
All right.
I want
here's-
to see all the buddies beating up in chat.
I want to
Here's-
do teams on Fluffy.
here-
I'm picking Fluffy.
here's what I propose. We do 3 games,
Uh-huh.
1 game for each team composition, and we call it a night. Because I still have a quiz I need to take that is due by 12. I am a student. I gotta go do studenty things.
That is fair.
So yeah,
So
It's
please
a-
put on a stage.
listen.
Thank you.
Yeah, Juso's speaking my mind right now. You're taking your
Teams
your
on Fluffy.
sweet ass time.
I don't know why I'm the skin. I was not paying attention to the skins.
That's a good question. I was wondering about that.
I am not GR Slap.
Yo, shoutouts to Nekos.
Oh my god! Crap, that was sick!
Shoutouts to Nekos. No, go in there. Let's go.
Oh no! Crap! Who did that?
That was me.
Crap! I'm on your team!
So,
Of course. Only you would do that, you big bully.
shoutouts to Nekos.
Why do you keep shouting out Nekos?
Because the bully tards up smashes.
Those lemons are making me happy. I'm so happy everybody
There
is
is a
contributing.
decent amount of lemons. They've kind of like become not there. Okay, now they're there.
That's
Hey.
the Juzo strat.
I can't see stocks.
You don't need to see stocks.
I can't see percent.
You don't
You
need to see percent.
anything.
Who thought it was a good idea to put the emotes there?
Me?
Get out of here, video. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Nah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I got a throw for you.
Ah. Oh my. You just I hit my fully charged down smash.
Shoutouts to Nekos.
Why? We're on the same team, you asshole.
Has both your deaths been because of me?
No, one of them was because of Holly's bomb that you knocked me into.
It's also just entirely possible that
No,
being
they
with
won!
me is hazardous to your health. Let's just go to this other side real quick. Shout out to Nekos. Ah, you piece
You
of
deserve
shit.
that chest to the face.
Who are we shouting out?
I want to shout out Nekos!
I thought we were talking about like
Literally
the cats.
every time.
Shout out to Nekos for my profile picture, by the way. It's really good.
Shout out to my dad. Oh, dang it. Never mind. My dad's disappointed.
What?
What?
Yeah. You know,
Nothing
fun fact,
new.
I'm adopted. Most kids only have one dad to disappoint, but I got two.
I mean, like, there are people who have gay parents.
Yeah, I said most.
Fair.
Oh
This
no!
is
I
this is
also
quality
was so cool.
discussion.
What? Yeet. Oh, that killed.
Wow.
I'm dead.
Hi.
How many lives do I
Alright,
have?
Holly, bring it home. Yep,
No,
okay, let's go,
why?
Holly. Let's
I
go.
can't tell. I didn't know what was happening.
I'm
dealt a
so
lot of
happy
damage,
that
though.
that entire game people were spamming emotes.
We got so many kills. Alright.
I blame that one on the skin.
Alright.
I wasn't the right
Time,
Yeah.
time, time to
Yeah,
break
yeah,
out
yeah.
the low tier.
We're going to space, boys. Let's do
I'm
it.
breaking out the,
No,
I'm
you
breaking
didn't
out
change
the bad
teams.
character.
Oh, we're changing teams now? Okay.
Isn't that what we talking about?
I thought you
I'll
said...
change teams.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Fine.
Uh,
I'll betray.
Yeah, this
The-
looks good.
Banana besties. There we go. Alright, Kree, get in here.
I'm here.
Alright. Space.
The final frontier. Oh, there was
Detroit.
also the fact that we played on the smallest stage in the game for doubles.
Of course.
You
Why
say that
not?
like there's a problem with that.
No problems here.
So I know Pater's in here, but not spectating. This is a crime.
Pater.
Pater's a hater.
Holding down the neutral.
Oh my! Please.
Up!
Kree.
I got.
Holding down the neutral.
Oh, and down the.
Let's go, Rep.
I want
Alright.
Ramble back.
I'm going in for him.
To this guy.
That's one.
Oh, that was unfortunate.
Video, stop scaring me! Ah!
How many have I seen over there?
Oh, I tried knocking him into you. I got it. Watch this. Easy. Oh. Wait, really? Are you kidding me? His down B beat out my up B, and he was above me.
That was butt, yes. Oh,
I don't see the
I'm
problem.
like, I'm like,
Into you.
Oh.
Aw.
yo, that bomb though. Let's go. Uh-oh. Oh.
Oh!
Oops. Thought I'd reach stage. Oh well.
Into you.
No, I'm holding down the neutral.
With them tilts.
Oh, my. Shout out to fish tilts. Specifically, F tilt and up tilt.
Ah!
There you go, launch and put you back on the stage.
Oh!
Greeno!
Let's get a Babunga angle.
Oh, can I just get double?
Oh. Maybe not.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Oh boy. Yeah, not living that one.
Oh! Where am I?
Yo, it's
I can't see shit. Bye, Rainbow.
Cree, please, why?
You got
Oh,
me.
Rep's dead.
Hi.
I gave him the juice.
What?
What? How did that? What?
What even killed? What?
Down smash, baby.
I got down smashed. What? I don't know. I don't know how it happened. I didn't let go of shield.
Gotta hold down the neutral. Oh shit!
You're not
That's
holding
fishing
down the
teams.
neutral, dude.
Yeet.
That's fishing teams. Once it's a 1v2, you're dead.
I keep throwing them into you. You don't want to do anything off it. Yo, I'm throwing them into you. No, I'm holding down the neutral.
I'm holding down the neutral.
He's up tilting over and over.
All right, Holly. Let's do this double idle.
Okay.
Double
Rep
Jenny.
leave.
Double
Yeah.
Jenny or die.
I'm going. Yeah, let's go Detroit.
Fine. I'll
Where's
take
Detroit?
you up on this offer.
Detroit? You know where Detroit is.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Detroit?
Swedish Detroit.
Dare I ask?
No.
Yeah, Detroit. Go to Detroit.
Swedish Detroit.
Huh?
Sure.
Yeah, Detroit. This
Oh.
isn't Detroit?
Well, it's a city.
It's close
Let's
enough.
start.
Is
Yeah, it
this
does,
the
'cause
strat?
Some cities are developed.
Yes, Detroit is known for their pristine infrastructure.
Damn. Shout out to Detroit.
Shout out to Detroit.
The shouts to the Lions, man.
Yo, shoutouts to American office buildings with various diversity and explosives.
And this
Let's
shouts
go-
to these
let's go
turnips just, like,
topical-
not
let's go
giving a
topical
care in the
humor.
world, while we're just like beating the mess out of each other.
Yeah, and then the guy on the left underneath the
Oh my
board is like, well,
God.
at least it's Monday or
Yep,
not Monday,
yep.
Friday. I messed up my own
Tomorrow's
joke.
Monday. They're not looking.
I hate Mondays. Shout out
You
to
could-
Garfield.
Yeah, that's how you can tell this is my stage.
Bomb coming in, boys! Oh,
Oh, it goes through the... Yo, Jimmy axes are busted!
oh, this is so good. What the fuck? That's such a good tilt. No, wait, no, come back down. Do it up the stairs. Do it up the stairs. Do it up the fucking stairs.
Wait,
Ow.
down to what?
Yeah, look.
How
Look
can
how
you do
good
that?
Jenny is. Wait, can you do the clutch? Can you do the clutch and jump out the window?
Jenny's busted.
Yeah, I need to do that too.
I got lit. I got the fire in me. Nice. What?
Oh my god, that
What?
too.
This is the action people want.
Ah. This is Slap City at its core. Oh,
This
I'm
is what
dead.
it's supposed to be. Oh
Yeet.
my god.
Oh, you right through the window though.
No, not the traffic!
Yeah, I've just tried to skate! Rev gets it!
Yeah, is it just me, or is there like a disturbing lack of emotes?
Everybody's left.
Yeah, can I get some appas?
Darn, everyone left. That's a shame.
Yeah.
They had just about enough of our
We're all by
tomfoolery.
ourselves. In a desolate wasteland known as Detroit.
Very topical humor today.
Is Detroit still topical?
As long as it exists, yeah.
There's
Nobody-
Sapper
nobody
Frogs!
knows why
Let's
the
go!
fuck
Will that
it
be?
exists still.
Let's
I'm
go!
surprised.
We have apples. I'm dead.
Yeet.
No,
I'm
not
getting
traffic
hit by-
again. Okay, wait, guys, I'm gonna do it. Oh, you did it for me.
Here, go play in
Oh.
traffic,
Oh,
Rambo.
oh, no, I don't want to
Go play in traffic.
Me.
That was me.
I don't
You
care.
killed Cree, though.
I'm a fishman. You
Rambo,
think I'm gonna
corporate
bat an
terrorism,
eye at
let's
a
go. You
team
know what
kill?
to do.
I mean, that's fair.
Oh.
What?
Corporate terrorism, go,
Speed.
go, go.
Holly, please, not like this.
No, get out there.
Ollie, why?
Because you weren't listening to me. You didn't want to commit terrorism with me, so
What?
yeah.
Holly, please. I'm not a terrorist.
And these are some A-tier jokes.
Well,
I know,
mean,
right?
listen, we're in an office building throwing bombs around, you know.
Oh, Holly, please.
Two
Not
of
like
us.
this.
Never mind. I'm not
Get
gonna make that
it!
joke. I'm not going
Oh,
any further with that. Oh shit!
Go
Up
over-
smash!
go up top!
Oh, I just saved your life.
Thank you.
Oh! He's dead. He's dead. Watch that. There it is.
Oh!
No.
No, not the downward, not down the stairs.
Oh!
Oh
Oh!
Look, even the guy, even he was surprised. Assume the fetal position.
Beamed.
My life.
Assume the fetal position.
Beamed.
Look at them! Look at them! Look at them foxes.
That was all the team comps, right?
That was all the team comps. Yes.
Okay. So you're still heading off, Cree, to do your quiz?
Yeah.
You have less
I
than 2
gotta go
hours.
do some accounting homework. I will not be streaming it. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
No homework stream.
Well, it was
No.
definitely
Homework
a
stream.
pleasure
This,
having
what do you
you
think
here,
this is? A beta bracket?
Yo,
So that's why it's beta.
Yo, shout out to Tired Cree commentary for Beta Bracket 3.
Man, I was hoping to get some Tired Cree commentary for my last beta bracket, but I got some Tired Cree chat shenanigans, I guess, so it'll do.
Close enough, right?
It was bittersweet.
Bittersweet. Not the ideal situation, but it'll do.
Yeah, basically.
Stop. Delete this.
Gonna do.
All right, so
It was a pleasure,
I
everybody.
usually do the closing stuff when I'm doing stuff like this, but I am the guest, so I don't know what to do now. What do we do, Rapidio?
Well, you know what, Kree? You are the guest of honor. This was your main thing for a while, so I think it's only fitting that you do go ahead and do a closing statement, just for old time's sake.
All right, cool. Let's see here. I wasn't prepared for this.
You're blowing it.
No, we haven't started yet.
You're blowing it.
No, we haven't started yet. We start when I say start.
Start.
So
Yeah.
pretty,
So okay,
welcome to
I'm
City.
prepared. I haven't done this in a while. Be sure to join the Ludosity Discord. Be sure to join the Slap City Online Discord. If you do !Discord, it'll link you to both of them. Follow the official Twitter. You will get notifications about when this stream goes live and different tournaments that are upcoming. So getting on that bandwagon is probably in your best interest. Follow GR Slap for our VODs. Be sure to check out, VODs, whether they be a week old or 2 months old. Get a little bit of history in there. Invest in Slap City stock.
Yeah,
Don't
remember
be
to leave
degenerate.
a like.
Dab on the haters. And
You're blowing it.
No. I have to appeal to the 12-year-old audience as well. We have to have a wide reach.
All right, I'm having an
wide casting
aneurysm.
net.
I've been Holiday. Follow me on Twitter at SCO Holiday, Twitch SCO Holiday. I hope y'all have a good night. I love you all. Thank you for watching.
Yes. Good having you, Holiday. Rambo, do you want to do closing statements?
I'm Rambo. It's been a pleasure being here. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Mark of Rambo. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys around.
All right, sounds good. And I've been Rapidio. Follow me on Twitter and YouTube. Rapidio, easy to find. And this was SlapCast number 2. We hope you all enjoyed, and hope to see you here next time with the fixed schedule. We're gonna fix the schedule, guys!